The story of Chuck Norris doesn't begin with strength or fame. It begins in a place shaped by struggle. Born Carlos Ray Norris in a small town in Oklahoma, his early life was marked by instability and financial hardship. His father's battle with alcoholism created an unpredictable home environment, while his mother carried the heavy responsibility of keeping the family together. They moved often, searching for a sense of stability that always seemed just out of reach. As a child, he was quiet and withdrawn, rarely drawing attention to himself. School wasn't easy, not because he lacked intelligence, but because of the emotional weight he carried daily. These years didn't signal future greatness, but they quietly built resilience. Without realizing it, he was developing a mindset rooted in endurance, one that would later help him face challenges that might have overwhelmed others. A lost sense of direction. As he grew into his teenage years, Norris still struggled to find his place. He wasn't particularly athletic, nor did he stand out socially. In many ways, he felt invisible. The divorce of his parents brought some relief from tension at home, but it also introduced new uncertainty. A move to California offered a fresh start, yet it didn't immediately change how he viewed himself. He remained introverted, hesitant, and unsure of his future. There was no clear direction guiding him, only a quiet desire to break free from the life he had known. That desire led to a surprising decision. At just 18, he joined the United States Air Force and got married. It wasn't driven by ambition or a dream of adventure, but by a need for stability and a chance to create something better for himself. It was a step into the unknown, but also a step toward change. Discovering purpose through discipline. While stationed in South Korea, Norris encountered something that would completely reshape his life: martial arts. What began as a simple way to pass time soon turned into something much deeper. Training gave him structure, something he had lacked for most of his life. He wasn't naturally gifted, and he knew it. But instead of being discouraged, he worked harder than those around him. Day after day, he pushed himself beyond his limits. Martial arts gave him more than physical strength. It gave him confidence, discipline, and a sense of identity. For the first time, he felt in control of his own path. The shy, uncertain young man slowly transformed into someone focused and determined. This wasn't an overnight change, but a steady evolution. Through effort and persistence, he began building a version of himself he could be proud of, laying the foundation for everything that would follow. Learning through failure. Returning to the United States didn't bring immediate success. In fact, Norris faced a series of setbacks in his early competitive martial arts career. He lost matches, faced stronger opponents, and encountered moments that could have easily discouraged him. But instead of walking away, he leaned into those failures. He studied what went wrong, adjusted his approach, and came back stronger each time. This mindset became one of his greatest strengths. Over time, those losses turned into lessons, and those lessons turned into victories. He rose through the ranks, eventually becoming a respected name in martial arts. His journey wasn't built on natural talent alone, but on persistence and a willingness to improve. Each challenge refined him, not just as a fighter, but as a person. This ability to grow through difficulty would later help him navigate new challenges in an entirely different world: Hollywood. A chance encounter that changed everything. One of the most defining moments in Norris's life came through his connection with Bruce Lee. Their friendship was built on mutual respect and a shared passion for martial arts. When Lee cast him in Way of the Dragon, it opened a door that Norris had never imagined stepping through. The now famous fight scene between them introduced him to audiences around the world. It wasn't just a performance, it was a turning point. While Hollywood didn't immediately embrace him, it gave him a glimpse of new possibilities. Encouraged by people like Steve McQueen, he began to take acting more seriously. At the same time, he continued teaching martial arts, staying grounded in what he knew best. Slowly but steadily, he explored opportunities in film. He didn't rush the process or try to become something he wasn't. Instead, he allowed his journey to unfold naturally, building confidence with each step forward. Building a career with authenticity. Norris's rise in Hollywood was not sudden, but it was steady and genuine. His early films gained attention for their action and realism. He wasn't trying to fit into a mold or follow trends. Instead, he brought his own style, disciplined, straightforward, and grounded. Audiences connected with that authenticity. By the 1980s, he had become a recognizable action star, known for roles that emphasized justice and integrity. His later work in Walker, Texas Ranger expanded his reach even further, making him a household name. The show reflected many of his personal values, focusing on morality, community, and doing what's right. Throughout his career, he maintained control over his image, choosing projects that aligned with his beliefs. This approach allowed him to build a career that felt true to who he was, rather than chasing fame for its own sake. Facing personal truths. Behind the public image, there were deeply personal experiences that remained private for many years. As a young man, Norris made choices that later carried unexpected consequences. For a long time, he was unaware of the full impact of those decisions. Then one day, he received a letter that changed everything. It was from a daughter he had never known. This moment could have been met with denial or hesitation, but instead he chose openness. He welcomed her into his life with sincerity and responsibility. It wasn't about obligation, but about doing what felt right. This experience became a turning point, not just in his personal life, but in his understanding of accountability. It showed that strength isn't just about physical power, it's also about facing the truth with honesty and compassion, even when it's difficult. Growth through accountability. Reuniting with his daughter brought a wave of emotions and reflection. It forced Norris to confront parts of his past that he had never fully addressed. Instead of avoiding the situation, he chose to speak openly about it. He acknowledged his mistakes and expressed a genuine desire to move forward with care and integrity. This wasn't an easy process, but it was a meaningful one. It required humility, the kind that often goes unseen. Through this experience, he demonstrated a different kind of strength, one rooted in honesty rather than perfection. It became a reminder that growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes, but from learning from them. By taking responsibility and embracing the truth, he showed that it's never too late to make things right. This chapter of his life added depth to his story, revealing the human side behind the public figure. Choosing family over fame. Later in life, Norris faced another challenge, one that had nothing to do with career or recognition. When his wife experienced serious health issues, he made a decision that spoke volumes about his priorities. He stepped away from his professional work to focus entirely on her care. This wasn't a temporary break, but a full commitment. He dedicated his time and energy to supporting her through recovery, putting family above everything else. In a world where success is often measured by visibility, this choice reflected something deeper. It showed that true strength lies in being present for the people who matter most. His actions weren't about public recognition, they were about love, loyalty, and responsibility. This quiet act of devotion revealed a side of him that many people hadn't seen, reinforcing the idea that character is defined by what we do when no one is watching. A legacy beyond strength. Looking at Norris's life as a whole, it becomes clear that his legacy goes far beyond martial arts or acting. It's a story about growth, resilience, and the ability to evolve. He faced hardships, made mistakes, and encountered moments that tested him deeply. But what defines him is how he responded to those moments. He chose to learn, adapt, and move forward with purpose. His journey reminds us that strength isn't just physical. It's found in honesty, commitment, and the courage to do what's right. It's about showing up, even when things are difficult, and continuing to grow. That kind of legacy doesn't fade with time. It lives on through the lessons it offers. That no matter where you start or what you face, it's always possible to build a life defined by integrity and meaning.